And welcome to the Grand Hakim channel. This is your Four Nations Face-Off preview show with yours truly. Thank you so much for tuning in. What we're going to do in this video, we're going to go through all the rosters for each of the teams. We're going to go through each game individually, predict each game, figure out who's going to go in the championship game, and see who I think is going to win, essentially. And you can play along at home as well. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with my picks, if you disagree with my picks. I'm assuming you're going to disagree with my picks because I don't know, I think I made some kind of bold picks and predictions here. But before we get too deep into this video, if you are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, smash the like button as well. Make sure you follow us on our social media pages. Grant Hakim is the Twitter, @Grant_Hakim is the Instagram and TikTok. If you want to get merch, join the Discord, or make a donation, all links are going to be in the video description. As you can tell by the decor and what I'm wearing, I'm definitely pulling for the United States because I was born in the United States. Always root for the U.S. But I do have Swedish heritage, so I am pulling for Sweden as well. Hopefully they can make it to the championship. I guess like my dream championship would be USA and Sweden, if I could pick it, but we'll see. My predictions are very interesting. The math was weird and because the whole new point system and everything. So I guess what we could do is let me explain how the tournament's going to work if you're new to it. So we have four nations, all NHL guys. So it's a best on best tournament, which is pretty cool. So we have USA, Canada, Finland, Sweden. And this is not going to be a video about why I'm pissed off that other nations are included. We can do that another time. Other nations should be included, but I guess they're starting off with four. And I would assume that in the future, they're going to add more teams and make this into a World Cup of Hockey type format where you have like Czechia. Hopefully Russia can get back playing soon. I know there's stuff going on with Russia politics-wise. Maybe add in like a Latvia, Slovakia, those kind of teams into it. But for now, it's just four teams. And it's a round-robin style tournament, so each team plays the other team once, right? So for a regulation win, you get 3 points. We're going into like football territory here. That's how they do it in the Bundesliga, if you watch my Bundesliga streams, or any football league, really, soccer league. Regulation win, 3 points. Overtime win is 2 points. Overtime loss is 1 point. And then regulation loss is no points. And I believe in the round robin play, if the game does go to overtime, it's a 10-minute OT. It might be 5-on-5 actually. I'm not. It's either 3-on-3 or 5-on-5. I think it's 5-on-5. Someone can let me know in the comment section down below. I think it's 5-on-5. To 10 minutes, then it goes to a shootout. And the championship game, it's continuous OT. So we could get a Tampa Bay Lightning, Columbus Blue Jackets scenario where it's like, what was that, 5 overtimes or something crazy like that. So we could get that, which would be fun to watch, obviously. And then now it's with the format. So each team plays each other once. The top 2 teams with the most points advance to the championship game. It's just a single elimination, championship game. Whoever wins the game wins the tournament. And they get a big, big trophy. Is there a Four Nations trophy? Let me look that up quick. Four Nations trophy. There has to be. I don't know what it would look like. Four Nations trophy. Yes, there is. This is quite the trophy. Can we get a good look at it? On the fly. We're doing this on the fly. Here we go. I can share my screen here with you guys. There we go. Look at this. That is ginormous. I would say that's about the same height as the Stanley Cup, right? And that's got to be close. Gorgeous trophy. Oh yeah, it has all the teams' crests. I was gonna say where are the teams on it, but it has the USA Eagle, I think that's the Finnish rose. I would assume it would have the Swedish crown and then the Canadian maple leaf on the other side. Good on the NHL. I like this. Charles here says, "Am I crazy or is it already dented?" I don't. Oh yeah, is it dented right there? You can see on that front corner. Is it dented? People are asking, are they gonna polish it? Big trophy for a one-time tournament. Well, go big or go home, Mike. That's what I always say. Go big or go home. So yeah, let's get into the rosters. We can talk more about the rosters here. Which tab is it? It'd be this one. Right? No, that's different. Here we go. Roster. So we'll start with Canada, and these are finalized, obviously. At the time of me filming this, tomorrow is the first games. So for Canada, for your forwards, you got Sam Bennett of the Florida Panthers, or Panthers if you're in Canada. That's how you say Panthers in Canada. Anthony Cirelli from the Lightning. Crosby from the Penguins. There was talks of Sidney Crosby that he was not going to be available for this tournament, but he is. Good to see. Brandon Hagel from Tampa. Seth Jarvis from Carolina. Travis Konechny from the Flyers. Nathan McKinnon from Colorado. Brad Marchand from Boston. Mitch Marner from Toronto. Connor McDavid from the Oilers. Braden Point from Tampa. Sam Reinhart from Florida. And Mark Stone from Vegas. And already, this forward group is loaded. Like, absolutely loaded. My one gripe about this forward group, I am stunned that my boy Mark Scheifele from the Winnipeg Jets is not in this lineup. That is shocking to me. I would just assume Mark Scheifele being automatic to make Team Canada, but I guess not. But that said, it's still a great forward group. That's an awesome bunch of forwards there. On defense, you have Drew Doughty. He was a replacement for Alex Pietrangelo because he withdrew from the tournament. He got destroyed by, was it Cooley or someone from the Rangers in that game? So Drew Doughty slots in. Cale Makar from Colorado. Josh Morrissey from the Winnipeg Jets. Love to see it. My Winnipeg Jets. There we go. Colton Parayko from the Blues. Travis Sanheim from the Flyers. Shea Theodore from Vegas. And Devon Taves from Colorado, which is awesome to see. Huge Devon Taves fan. If you don't know, I'm a big Islanders fan. They're one of my favorite teams. And Devon Taves, we had him on the island. Lou Lamoriello got rid of him for a second-round pick. Colorado finessed us in that one. But I love Devon. Great defenseman out of Quinnipiac. Glad that he's representing Team Canada in this tournament. Defensively, I would say not as strong as the forward group. Still got some really good players. Makar, Devon Taves. More offensive defensemen. I think Morrissey, Doughty are solid D. Sanheim, Theodore, good. I don't know much about them, to be quite honest with you, but they're not guys that stick out to me. So defense, good, but not elite defense, I would say. Goaltending is where I think is this team's weakness. So you have Jordan Binnington from the Blues, Aiden Hill from Vegas, and Sam Montembeault from Montreal. Big Montembeault fan. He's done pretty well for Montreal this season, at least the games that I've done watch-alongs for. He's done pretty well. But yeah, these guys, they're not elite goalies, I would say. I wouldn't classify them as elite. Just good. I'd say they're good, solid NHL goalies, but they're not your Ilya Sorokins, your Igor Shesterkins of the world, your Hellebucks of the world, if you know what I'm saying. So I think goaltending and defense is probably going to be this team's weakness. They'll put the puck in the net like crazy, but can they keep the puck out? I think is going to be Team Canada's issue. And we'll see. Maybe it won't be an issue because they'll score so many goals, but look out for that for Canada. Right, for Finland now, we have Sebastian Aho from the Carolina Hurricanes, Joel Armia from Montreal, Alexander Barkov from Florida, Mikael Granlund from Dallas, Eric Holla from New Jersey. Shout out Eric Holla out of University of Minnesota. Love to see it. Rope Hintz from Dallas, Capo Caco, that's fun to say, from the Seattle Kraken, Patrick Laine from Montreal, Arturi Lehkonen from Colorado, Anton Lindell from Florida, Eetu Luosterainen from Florida, Mikko Rantanen from Carolina, Tuovo Teravainen from Chicago. Really good forwards here. A lot of these guys are like kind of supplemental pieces to their team. Obviously, like Rantanen and Barkov are the stars, but like, you know, I feel like a lot of these guys are more supplemental, really good, but they're not like the stars of their team. But yeah, again, I don't know a whole lot about Finnish players, but it looks like a solid lineup. So, but I do think Canada's forward group is better. Defenseman Henry Jokinharju from Buffalo, Esa Lindell from Dallas, Oli Mata from Utah, Nico Mikkola from Florida, Nicolas Montinpalo from Ottawa, Urho Vakinen from the Rangers, Uso Valimaki from Utah. Don't know a lot about these defensemen. I generally don't. I can't comment. Don't know much about these guys. Goalies Lankinen. I know Lankinen from Vancouver, done really well this season for the injured Thatcher Demko. He might have gotten re-injured this past weekend, so hopefully Thatcher's okay. But Lankinen has had a tremendous season with the Canucks. Ukko Pekka-Luukkonen, probably one of the best names in the league for Buffalo. Then Jussi Saros, the 5'10 legend Jussi Saros. Love it. So yeah, solid lineup. Sweden. I know a lot of these guys. Victor Arvidsson from Edmonton, Jesper Bratt from New Jersey, Leo Carlsson from Anaheim, Joel Eriksson Ek from the Wild, Philip Forsberg for Nashville, Kempe from the Kings, Lindholm from the Bruins, Nylander from Toronto, Nyquist from the Predators, Elias Pettersson from the Canucks, Lucas Raymond from the Red Wings, Rickard Rakell from the Penguins, and Mika Zibanejad from the Rangers. These guys, it may not be the most sexiest names that you've ever seen, but I think this is a really solid forward group. And the reason why I say this is because if you watch the World Hockey Championships, quite a few of these guys were on that team. And that Sweden team in that World Hockey Championship last year was insane. Especially Joel Eriksson Ek. He really impressed me last year in that World Hockey Championship. So I think overall Sweden's they're kind of an underrated team, I feel like. And they might surprise people in this tournament. Defenseman, you got Rasmus Andersson from the Flames, Jonas Brodin from the Wild, Dahlin from the Sabres, Matthias Ekholm from the Oilers, Gustav Forsling from Florida, Victor Hedman from Tampa, Erik Karlsson from Pittsburgh. Solid defense. Big fan of Dahlin, Hedman, Erik Karlsson. I mean, Brodin, lots of talent here defensively. And then goaltenders, Samuel Ersson from the Flyers, Philip Gustafsson from the Wild, and Linus Ullmark from Ottawa. I would assume Gustafsson's going to be the number one guy. He impressed me a lot also in the World Hockey Championships last spring. And Linus Ullmark, tremendous goalie, basically helping Ottawa to where they are now in a playoff spot, third in the Atlantic, which is incredible. They might be a wild card spot now, I have to double check, but they're in a playoff spot. And Linus Ullmark has a big part to play in that. Ersson was added for Jacob Markstrom, which is unfortunate because I love Jacob Markstrom, but solid team overall. I think very underrated. Very underrated. I think they're going to make some noise in this tournament for sure. And then finally, the United States. Here we go. We got Matt Boldy from the Wild, Kyle Connor from the Jets, Jack Eichel from the Golden Knights, Jake Gensel from Tampa, Jack Hughes from New Jersey, Chris Kreider from the Rangers, Dylan Larkin from the Red Wings, Austin Matthews from Toronto, JT Miller from the Rangers, Brock Nelson from the New York Islanders. There we go. Brady Tkachuk from Ottawa, Matthew Tkachuk from Florida. Vincent Trocheck from the Rangers. solid forward group. Again, I'd compare this to Finland's forward group. It's not as elite as Canada's, but still really, really good. It's all about how, I guess, the cohesion, really. I think that's been a big issue with Team USA teams in the past, is the cohesion of lines. And I feel like with every American team, even World Juniors, it takes them like multiple games to get used to each other for whatever reason. They always have slow starts in tournaments. So, I mean, you saw the World Cup of Hockey in 2016, the U.S. crashed out. Had a solid team, but they crashed out. So, I hope this team doesn't crash out. They have decent enough players. But I think this team's bread and butter, the backbone of this team, is going to be the defense, the defensemen, and goaltenders. They are loaded. Brock Faber from the Wild, Adam Fox from the Rangers, Noah Hannafin from Vegas, Charlie McAvoy from Boston, Jake Sanderson from Ottawa, Jacob Slavin from Carolina, and Zach Werenski from Columbus. That's got to be probably one of the best defense cores in the whole tournament, in my opinion. That is solid. And then for goaltenders, you got Connor Hellebuyck from the Jets, Jake Ottinger from the Stars, and Jeremy Swayman from Boston. And then Quinn Hughes has been ruled out, unfortunately. That would have loaded that defense core even more. But that goaltending trio there, and that's the best goaltending trio of the whole tournament. Hellebuyck, Ottinger, Swayman. Who do you go with? I mean, I assume Hellebuck's going to be the starter, but have Jake Ottinger as the backup is insane. Yeah, like I said, defense and goaltending will be this team's backbone for sure. And those are your 4 teams. Well, based on lineups, let me know at home, who do you think has the best lineup? I think in terms of balanced lineup, I think Sweden probably has the most balanced lineup. And what I mean by that is it's not like they're heavily loaded on forwards and then not so much on defense. I think if you look at Sweden's lineup, they have great forwards, great defensemen, great goalies. Canada, elite forwards, kind of mid defensemen, lower to mid goaltending. U.S., really good forwards, but I think the defenseman and goaltending is way better. So I think Sweden's probably the most balanced team. Finland's pretty good. It's so hard. It's really hard. Honestly, like these predictions, it's kind of like pick your poison. With who's gonna win, I don't think there's a raw answer at all. It's kind of just who's gonna put it together the quickest, essentially in this tournament. Who's gonna play the best, and who's gonna take it seriously. And we can talk more about that later. If guys are gonna take this seriously. So yeah, those are your rosters. Let's go to the schedule. And we're going to get into predictions. So we're going to do one game at a time here. So I'm not going to do scores because that's too crazy with the math and everything. I have it written down here on my notebook. So let's start with Wednesday, February 12th. This is a 8 p.m. Eastern game, and it's on 3 different networks, apparently, which is fantastic for us. Canada, Sweden in this one. So this is a tough matchup. I pick Sweden in this game because balanced lineup and everybody wants to beat Canada, right? I think Sweden's going to be up for this game. So I pick Sweden in game 1 here over Canada. It'll be close, though. It might be like a 3-2 game, whatever, 3-1 game with an empty net or something like that. So yeah, I got Sweden in game 1. And play along with me at home, too. Make your own predictions. Let me know in the comment section. Thursday, February 13th. Well, it's on ESPN, a completely different network. Thank you, Gary Bettman and NHL for that. Well, I feel like if you were going to make a tournament, wouldn't you want it to be on one network so it's easy for fans to watch? That's just me. Make it easy. But, Gary Bettman and the NHL love making it very difficult for us as fans to watch the product on the ice. I digress. February 13th, USA, Finland, 8 p.m. Eastern. At least the start times are uniform. Thanks, Gary. In this one, I have Finland, but in overtime. So I think Finland's going to win in overtime. This is going to be a tight game. Rematch of the World Junior Championship final between USA, Finland. I feel like Finland always has the United States number for whatever reason. So it's going to be like a 2-1 overtime win probably or something like that. But I think Finland's going to take it in OT. Couple days off, 1 day off, and then Saturday, big one. It's rivalry day on Saturday. This is on ESPN. Okay. So at 1 p.m. Eastern, we got Finland, Sweden in this one. Again, like, how do you predict this? This is so hard to predict. I did pick Sweden in overtime. Like, I told you, like, I like Sweden. I don't know why, I just do. Maybe it's my DNA ancestry, but I do like Sweden in this tournament. And so I'm going to pick Sweden in overtime against Finland. And reminder, OT wins only get you 2 points. And if you lose an OT, you get 1 point. So I have Sweden in overtime in this one. And then the big one, USA-Canada, 8 p.m. Eastern. I think it's in Montreal, right? This game, USA-Canada. Contrary to belief here, I have Canada winning this game, but in overtime. I think both of these games are going to go in overtime. I think Canada is going to edge us out barely in this game. And again, maybe like it might be high scoring. It could be like a 5-4 OT game. I feel like USA Canada, it's always high scoring. But Canada will get this win, in my opinion. So for the United States so far, you have in regulation two overtime losses. They lost to Finland in overtime and lost to Canada in overtime. That's what I think is going to happen. It's kind of crazy. But on Monday, February 17th, we're back to TNT. Thanks, Gary. What a Monday. This must be like a holiday. Why do we have a day game on a Monday? Whatever. 1 p.m. Eastern, Canada, Finland. I have Canada winning this game in regulation. And then Sweden, USA. Many of you are probably thinking I'm picking Sweden. I'm picking the United States. The USA has always played Sweden well historically. Regulation win for the United States in this one. And that will conclude round robin play. So, if we do the math here, and I have it written out here on this trusty notebook here. So, point totals wise, this is how everything would shake out. So, Finland, with an overtime win, overtime loss, and a regulation loss, would have 3 points. The United States, with an overtime loss, another overtime loss, regulation win, would end up with 5 points. Sweden, with a regulation win, overtime win, and then regulation loss, would also end up with 5 points. And here's the kicker. Canada, regulation loss, overtime win, and then regulation win, would also end up with 5 points. So we have USA, Canada, Sweden all tied with 5 points. We'd have to go into tiebreakers. Head-to-head matchup doesn't work when there's 3 teams that are tied. So I would assume the first tiebreaker is going to be goal differential. And like I said, I didn't predict scores. So I basically just picked who I think is going to have the best goal differential, essentially. And so I think, and this is what I want to, like, it'd be cool if we had a USA-Canada final. So I just, for shits and giggles, let's just say USA and Canada had the best goal differential over Sweden, hypothetically saying. So we have a championship of USA and Canada in this tournament. And in my unbiased opinion, I'm going to go with the United States winning this tournament, avenging that overtime loss to Canada on that Saturday. They will beat Canada for the championship and win the first edition of the Four Nations Cup or tournament. Four Nations Faceoff. Excuse me. Four Nations Faceoff. I feel like the Four Nations Cup would have had a better ring to it, but Four Nations Faceoff. And that is my predictions. Let me know at home if you agree or disagree with me. I do think the U.S. will win. Goaltending and defense wins tournaments. The United States always start slow in tournaments and then they get really good and usually end up winning tournaments. I'm speaking from World Juniors experience. We don't have a whole lot of best on best from like the pros in terms of like international tournaments. We have the Olympics, for me at least, Olympics in 2010, Olympics, that was Vancouver, the Sochi Olympics in, what was that, 2014 in Sochi, and then the past two Winter Olympics haven't been allowed to go. So literally it's just those two tournaments that we've had best and best. And I guess the World Cup of Hockey, but I don't know if I'd count that one because they had that stupid Team North America nonsense. It just, I don't know, I didn't really like that. So that's what I got. Let me know at home what your predictions are, what you think will happen. And I guess this leads into what this tournament leads me into talking about. What is this tournament? What's the point of this tournament? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? I think I'm kind of mixed on it. I do think it's a money grab by the NHL to some extent, right? To make more money by doing a best and best tournament like this. I also think it's a great idea to bring it back because international best on best is something that we've been missing from like hockey in general. We haven't had that since 2014. Authentically, I feel like yes, we had it in 2016, but like again, Team North America took away lots of talent from the U.S. and Canada respectively. So it's been a long time. I think it's a neat idea. I wish more teams were involved, like I said before. I don't think it's fair that just these teams are involved. I would love to see Russia get involved. Like a Team Russia would be insane in a best on best tournament. Just think of the goaltending. I don't even know what goal. I mean, would you have Sorokin, Vasilevsky, Shesterkin? Like that'd be ridiculous to have that trio as your goalies. And then obviously including like Czechia, Latvia, like Slovakia, those teams into it as well. I mean, I'm excited for it, right? It's better than an All-Star game. I never usually like watching the All-Star game. It's just like it's stupid. It used to be fun when I was a kid when they had like the draft where they had two captains and they drafted it. That was pretty cool, but I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of boring nowadays. Maybe it's because I'm older. I don't know. And then in terms of is this going to be like successful? Will the players take it seriously? I don't know because I don't like that it's we're like kind of nearing the last corner of the season, last kind of 30 or less games of the season. And are players going to take this tournament seriously and try their hardest and try their best to win every game? Will they like block shots like they normally would in the NHL season? Are they going to basically try and not get hurt? Essentially is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I hope they take it seriously. You're playing for your country after all, and it's such a big honor to be able to do that. So I would assume they would take it seriously and fight for every inch on the ice and block shots and do everything that they normally would do for their normal teams in the NHL. So, yeah, hopefully the players try hard. And I hope we get a good product on the ice, because if we don't, then it's just like, what's the point for me? And then the question becomes, is this an authentic best on best tournament? I don't think so. I think the only true authentic best on best tournament is the Olympics, because every team gets represented. The big teams, the big nations get represented for the most part, including your Latvias and those countries as well. And it's best on best, and it's a longer tournament. It's not just like 4 games. It's a longer tournament at a neutral site. I think that's authentic, right? I don't think this is authentic. It feels fabricated. But that being said, hopefully in the future this will grow and not just be 4 nations. It can grow into 6 nations, 7 nations, 8 nations, and keep growing. So we shall see what happens with that. And that's essentially all I have to say and speak about on this 4 Nations preview show. If you enjoyed yourself, apologies for the dogs. If you enjoyed yourself, you can smash the like button. Let me know in the comment section if you agree with my predictions or not. This is going to be a fun it's change of pace. It's a change of pace compared to like all-star games and whatnot. I'm excited for it. I will be doing some watch-alongs for this tournament, mainly on Saturdays because that's when I'm free on the Hockey Podcast Network. You can check me out there for NHL watch-alongs. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and thank you so much for watching. If I'll do the spiel, and then we can get out of here in about 30 minutes. That's kind of what I was aiming for. Perfect. If you're new, subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Smash the like button as well. Follow me on my social media. @Hakim is the Twitter. Perfect timing here. Look at the ticker. @Hakim is the Instagram. And Tickety Talk. If you want to get merch, join the Discord, or make a donation. All links will be in the video description. On this channel, if you're new, we do gaming stuff. We do watch-alongs, mainly for the Bundesliga. I like watching Bundesliga soccer, the German soccer league, if you didn't know. I'm going to try and do more gaming stuff here soon. I thought about playing. I have NHL 24. I don't have NHL 25, but I thought about playing through a IIHF tournament as Team USA, but I'm like, that's too much work to do, and I want to get this video out, so maybe another time we can do that, but for now we'll leave it there. And I would like to end every video that I do by saying it's such a crazy world out there, so I'm sending all my love, like it says back there, from me to you and to everybody around the world that could use some love. Hope we're doing well, hope we're doing okay, hope we have an amazing rest of your day, and go USA. Let's win this thing. Much love. See you, everybody.